Welcome back to the channel.
Today we are doing something extra special. We are taking a VIP tour down at Universal Studios Hollywood.
Yeah, so subscribe to the channel if you like that kind of content.
Come get lost with us.
That's how our day's starting. Foggy Universal Studios sign. See Nacy in the distance there. Checking out the red carpet rollout. Heading on up. Fast and Furious stuff. They got Dr. Seuss, the Cat in the Hat up there. Back to the Future. Cool artwork in the hallway. They have The Office. Emmy. That's pretty cool. Check out the options for the morning.
What did I get? I got a sandwich. I got a cookie. I got some fruit. And some juice that I'll probably regret later.
Yeah, you can get it here up to next like 30 minutes early, but I don't know once the park actually opens. We're one of the first of the day. So it was a little before 8 we got here. And we're already upstairs kind of snacking. Our tour guide apparently comes out in 15 minutes before the tour starts.
So we got 15 minutes.
Just hanging out upstairs as they're slowly letting some of the early entrance people in. The park doesn't officially open until 9 o'clock today. So I don't know how many people are going to be lining up at the gates before we head out on our tour. Probably not too many. But we'll see. Pretty cool little film scene down there. Got the boom mic, the guy filming it in the chair. And the guy, I guess that's the director on the ground. Pretty cool. They're starting to line up. 8:30 and our VIP tour has officially started. The park is officially not open yet, so we're actually in here a little bit before everybody else. This is pretty cool. The studios themselves, not just get people away. Look at that. It's really neat. Welcome to Springfield. Ice cream parlor. That's fascinating. We just passed Hogsmeade on the right. Now we're already in Springfield. Some of the
parties. The burgers are not aired yet, so that's why you haven't heard of it.
So those are the filming today.
You guys have TV sets or
Heading out to the tram buses to do the studio lot tour. This is really cool looking. Look at that shot. Yeah. Look at all the filming stuff down there. It's crazy. Check out that Back to the Future Center.
blood up close and some really nice cars.
Here's our tour bus. Excited? So there's some working studios down there. That's really cool.
Yep. So the scene park is over here. You can see Super Nintendo from this vantage point. But at the moment will be its castle.
Go on the soundstage 12. It's apparently the biggest one on
Jurassic
property.
Park. And it was the home to The Voice for several seasons. They have since moved to a modern stage. Our soundstage just got a major...
Heading into soundstage 1. Here's the soundstage. Look at this.
And we're entering through what is called an elephant door. Any guesses as to why we call that an elephant door? It can fit an elephant, yeah. If we throw a question your way, the answer is probably to get that car on the game show.
That's an elephant door.
They use an elephant door. And I had some guess
What'd you think of our first soundstage?
That was really cool. Getting to see like a blank space and just kind of imagine. And all I can think about is our podcast studio. That's all I think about.
Cool. Night Ride used to be filmed there. A bunch of famous shows.
Alrighty.
Night show. Pretty cool.
For a second,
You can see there's a Ted right there.
this is a
Look at
different
that.
Ted.
That's cool. Look at
The
Ted.
grown-ups know who this Ted is, right?
Saint
Oh,
Ted.
that's so cool.
That's really cool.
This is a rare opportunity to go for a stroll in this part of the studio lot because this area is more often than not.
We got out to look at St. Denis Regional Medical Center.
Side here because these are not real buildings. If there was an earthquake, Bel Air. Does anyone watch Bel Air? Because we talk about shows and people don't watch them.
Look at this place. Look at this place.
Brownstone building looks real on the outside.
There's the hospital. Look at that. So this is Home Alone 2 building.
The building, and he throws bricks at the bad guys down below, and one guy keeps getting hit in the head over and over and over. And come here on the sidewalk for a moment. Thing is like got wood underneath it. The lights out here are not real. I'll talk more about that in a moment.
You can see lights inside.
Guys, do us a favor. Don't go.
Look at that cool hospital over there. That's really neat.
Kids are smart.
And then they got,
Hospital I've ever been to.
and then they got down the street the fake overlay at the back, but also the buildings that are there. You can kind of see some patchwork up there, and you can see some sets getting set up there. This is apparently where they Home Alone. They threw the stuff off the ceiling. That's really cool. Check out the old theater at this corner. That's really cool. So we're heading to the Back to the Future spot with the courthouse.
Gremlins, the opening of Gremlins. Very first ever.
Bel Air Academy. There is the City Hall. That's it. And the DeLorean would have been over there on that road. Look at that place. It's fascinating. You can actually put a pond in here, like they did with the hoverboard scene.
City Hall.
Check the inside door there. You can actually see the inside of the
Trees are kind of real.
thing. That's it. That's it from Back to the Future. Yeah, a little bit backlit because of the sun, but that's it, man. And Ted. That's really cool. There's a barber shop over there, burgers, shakes, and coffees. So apparently this isn't where Star Hollow. Star Hollow is at the other studio. Oh, look at that. Brakes. That's super cool. Love it. Look at the architecture and the different shifts and the designs. There's the Lions Estates from Back to the Future. Hopefully we'll go over there.
Chicago, the city, was downtown Los Angeles and Transformers.
Look at
If anyone saw The Purge Anarchy, they killed a lawyer and they tied his body in front of that bank building right there.
Look at all this place, y'all.
The scene where in Dirty Harry.
This reminds me of the Transformers movie.
There's a guy on the ground and he says, "I know what you're thinking." Did he fire?
It's so cool.
6 shots or only 5? That scene was filmed right over there. American Ninja Warriors. When they're
This place is amazing, amazing. Look at that.
and
This is really cool. So that plug right there is basically how they plug in all the street lights. So all these street lights are just plugged in with that little extension cord. I mean, they're each over their own hole, obviously, but the extension cord comes out, plugs right into the light. Really freaking cool, man. Look at this place. There goes the regular tour up there. So apparently a lot of the Captain America movie was filmed here, Transformers, a ton of different movies out here.
That's what it used to feel like when you were at Universal Studios Orlando before they got rid of the streets of New York. In Orlando, you could walk around stuff like this. Granted, it was a lot busier, but
To Kill a Mockingbird was filmed here.
Mind blowing.
Bruce Almighty.
Remember when everyone got the same winning
Yeah, look at all
lottery
the
ticket?
look at all the fake facades here to give it
And
depth.
the future.
Oh, Back to the Future. That was so awesome seeing
The
that.
future will be 10 years old. We have a mural done by a local artist named Tristan E. This is all done with spray cans. Took several weeks. He would go through about 80 spray
That's
cans
cool.
a day, and it's an homage to our horror genre, which is very important to Universal history.
Yeah,
One
there's
of the
Lion
monsters
Estates. That's
represented
from
there
Back to
is
the Future.
from the Black Lagoon. This one, oh yeah, there's Lion Estates here. The water tank is where underwater scenes from the Black Lagoon were filmed.
Look at the old Western
And the
town.
Black Lagoon is actually right here.
The Black
These are newer
Lagoon.
sound stages. 30 and 31 are being used by the voice. And
Look at these things.
Password, and that's my jam. Happy's Place is in 33. 33 was
Steven
also
Spielberg
used
Drive.
at the very beginning of the movie Nope. right next door to the prop
Look at this
department.
little town.
We'll be visiting that next, but I want you to see the sound stations directly in front of
The
us.
happy place? Oh, and the good place, yeah.
22 months old. They've been used on Quantum Leap, Hacks, Loop, and
Just got done going through the props department, so I am on my phone temporarily because we aren't allowed to take pictures there. We'll talk a little about that. We saw an ET, some thrones. This is the good place. That's cool. I like the sweet shop. We were looking at the roads and how like they're kind of uneven. It's really neat how they match the backgrounds, make them work. And again, if you watch The Good Place, this is the good place. So I guess the bad place?
Which was really the bad place, yeah.
The bad place.
Oh my god, we're in the bad place.
You can see some damage on that over there. Getting ready to leave, but you can catch back there at the railroad station for neighborhood 12358W, it looks like. They look cool. These are really cool.
For a few years.
This is a little closer view of Europe.
Cool.
This location in the afterlife. Come on.
Yeah, that's cool. Let's literally go on that happy place.
I'm not supposed to be here.
The good place, I'm saying.
I can't risk going to the bad place.
Maybe it's not all that bad.
How can I help you?
What is the bad place like?
Well, it doesn't sound awesome.
So basically anything not
There's-
American
yeah, that's train station,
or
yeah.
American will film here in Europe. The Good Place filmed down here. If anyone remembers the Disney movie Princess Diaries 2, A Royal Engagement, this was Genovia. There was a parade that happened down the road that we're now driving through. Pedro Pascal filmed a Corona. By the way, there's
We're
some
heading
name
into
jokes
Earthquake.
in here.
you
If you
can
look
see the water.
out there on the left, there's a poster for something called Tremor, not Tremors, the 1990 movie Tremor. Okay, so watch the ceiling out here and just hang on tight. Hope this works. Sometimes it doesn't work right, but hope it works today. Okay, get ready.
Here comes the train.
Is that water? Is that what someone said? I think it's water. It looks real though.
Millions of
Old
years
West
of
Town.
So this is
Light.
the trailer for the
passion.
movie Jaws, and I don't know if you guys know it, it's the 50th anniversary of Jaws. With that,
Yeah.
Jared is going to drive us into the New England community of Amity Island. Maybe we'll see the shark from Jaws. Maybe.
Oh, that seems like a tiny
He's
lake.
swimming around out there somewhere in the water, kids.
That seems like a very tiny lake.
There he is.
Oh, there he
There he
is.
is. Now, luckily for us, under the water, near the boat, there is a police diver who comes all the way from Mexico. Remember, there's Tomas. Tomas. There's a shark in front of you, Tomas. I don't think Tomas speaks English. Tomas. Tomas. Tomas.
I don't think Tomas made it, yo.
Jared is going to hide us behind these drums of gasoline. Poor Tomas. Que lastima. Kids, everything you're seeing is real. Hey, shark pulling off the pier. All right, now in Hollywood, we call this fire. Here's the shark from Jaws.
There he is. Hey. Feels hot.
Now, I'm going to tell you why the shark spits 4 times and why it's going to be a VIP. The reason the shark spits 4 times on the regular studio tour for the common people who come out here, their tram is made up of 4 cars. Every car gets a spit. You guys are VIP. So, Earthquake has been quaking since 1989. Jaws has been out here since 1976, the year after the movie came out. What you're about to see has been happening on this spot every single day since 1968.
Wow.
In about 10 seconds, 10,000 gallons of lava is going to come down the hill. Remember, the water's like 57 years old. Do not let it touch your skin. We get video of it.
There it comes. Let's go.
Grown up, some of you might remember a movie by the name of Three Amigos with Chevy Chase, Steve Martin, Martin Short.
Oh, so Three Amigos were filmed.
Three Amigos filmed out here. You'll see this area in Nacho Libre with Jack Black. This was the town of Paria on Westworld on HBO. It was the country of Peru in the movie Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
So cool.
And Janet Jackson filmed her Escapade video back here in 1990. Next to Mexico is our Western Street. Now I'm going to tell you about the big film that's shot here right before COVID hit. Some of you might have seen the Quentin Tarantino movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, starring Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio. If you go back and you watch that movie, you will see this street in approximately 45 minutes of the film. Tarantino was out here for a month shooting that movie. And by the way, whenever they shoot any kind of a Western out here on the street, it's somebody's job. Usually 2 guys have to come out here and they cover every square inch of the asphalt with dirt. They film the scene, and then when they finish filming, they immediately cart the dirt away. They don't leave the dirt out there permanently because we have to drive through here and other things have to drive through here every day. Jared is going to drive us filming where those guys are and where that truck is going. The Burbs, B-U-R-B-S. And the episodes have not aired yet. They're in the process of filming. But Desperate Housewives also filmed on that little side street back there. Now, Universal is a few hundred acres huge. We are the only movies red and white.
Let's go. That's the old tram from the 1960s. Look at that.
But we have the gyrosphere. Jurassic World fans. We have the gyrosphere from the first Jurassic World film. And you'll notice, and we're going to drive around this tram because somebody brought something. Maybe a
Fast and the Furious cars right there.
Maybe a child fell out of the tram.
There's Bumblebee.
But we're just going to
barricade.
Drive by them and show you the Bates Motel behind a maze being built for Halloween Horror Nights. So, Psycho fans, that is the Bates Motel. Halloween Horror Nights, in case you don't know, is a big money-making thing for Universal. And during Halloween, people come out here and walk around this area. at night and they get scared, and they're building a monster maze in front of that Bates Motel thing right now. By the way, we're going to drive by the Psycho House. And as we drive by the Psycho House, if you look at the front of the house, upper left corner, you might see Mrs. Bates, Norman's mom, rocking back and forth in the window. She's out here every Tuesday. And behind the Psycho House is a set for a movie which has been out here 20 years.
War of the Worlds.
This is a plane crash from the Steven Spielberg Paramount movie, War of the Worlds. So in the film, aliens have invaded the Earth, and
it's supposed to be New York,
where they knock an airplane out of the sky. Everything in Hollywood is make-believe, with the exception of this airplane. This is a real Boeing 747 Class 200 jet airliner, brand new. A plane like this would have been worth $45 million. Paramount bought a decommissioned 747 from a jet airplane graveyard, and they ripped it apart to make it look like a crashed airplane.
You can't do anything. Listen to me. Listen now. Listen, I want you to close your eyes, okay? Okay, I'm closed. Robbie, get in. Get in.
Movie Nope, N-O-P-E,
Nope set.
came out a couple of years ago, directed by Jordan Peele. Nope is a science fiction horror mystery movie. And in the movie, some really frightening things happen in and around the Jupiter's Claim amusement park.
What's up, Studio Tour? I'm Kiki Palmer from Jordan Peele's film, Nope. What's a bad miracle? Well, you'll have to see our movie to answer that one. Until then, I hope you enjoy your visit to Jupiter's Claim.
Did you see a UFO in that cloud? Yeah. Nope.
So, in the movie, as I said, some really frightening things happen in and around the set. What you're looking at is a set from a monster movie. And the story about the set is, while these are the actual sets from the film, the movie was not actually filmed out here. It was filmed 50 miles away from here. And Jordan Peele, the director, is a big fan of Universal. He had them take the set apart piece by piece. When they finished filming, the pieces were brought out here on the back of a truck, and it was the entire set was put back. My Fair Lady with Audrey Hepburn filmed out there in '64. Friends used to film out there. That's where they did Gilmore Girls. And
off the tram, now we're heading into Hogsmeade. Took the back entrance apparently. Yeah, it's no train. Making our way through Hogsmeade. The groups definitely move, so be ready for that if you do decide to do the VIP tour. They're just kind of scooting out. This very much reminds me of the Orlando side. I mean, it's pretty close. Except for they're missing the train right there. Mandrake just hanging out. It's interesting because you don't see the things on the ground to do spells here.
Yeah, there's one right there.
Oh yeah, there's one.
I did ask our tour guide if they're going to be bringing updated wands out here to the West Coast, and so far it does not seem like Universal Hollywood has any plans to update Harry Potter Land with the new 2.0 wands. There's a little insider scoop.
We're going to Kung Fu Panda next. Let's check that one out. Heading back to Kung Fu Panda. Getting ready for the Kung Fu Panda show. That's kind of what it looks like. And then there's a studio on the other side, theater. Check it out. Made it into the theater. Checking out the Kung Fu Panda show. Apparently the seat's supposed to move like the 4D theater. Check out that short in our shorts.
That's weird. It's like the river just ends up ahead. Let me see that. According to the map, it's a waterfall.
Hey, watch it! The bridge isn't finished yet!
Here they are!
A wharf is here! The bridge is out!
Hey!
Got a toothless over there, look at that. That's pretty neat. That's pretty impressive. Heading into the Minion house. Here we go. Getting ready to get on the ride. Got the Secret Life of Pets, that's what they're heading on next. Another ride he said I probably wouldn't be able to fit on, so not even bothering. Our next ride was actually going to be the Despicable Me Minion Mayhem, but apparently they must be having some issues and it's broken down for now, so he took us out of that one and went over to the Secret Life of Pets. Check out Fast and Furious, man. They are really building that thing. The tour guide was saying, oh look, they got a test vehicle up there. The tour guide was saying that one of the things they had to do was try to like muffle the screams. So they had to build it so that the screams would be pushed in to the amusement park instead of going out because they don't want to disturb the people that live there. And he claims that's why it's taking so long to build. That's really fascinating, right? That they're actually trying to get it so that the screams aren't that loud. Check out the VIP experience. You get a napkin, looks like a wet wipe. It's pretty neat. Oh, and it is buffet, so you gotta go up and get your food. What you done so far?
So we've managed to do, I think, 1 through like 4 rides. I think we did 4 experiences and the Backlot Tour, and it's roughly around 11:30. We've now taken a break for lunch, but we did, or at least I did, Flight of the Hippogriff and Secret Lake of Pets, and we did the Kung Fu Panda adventure.
They also did the other Harry Potter ride.
Yeah, the Forbidden Journey one that's here. I did not do that because I get motion sick, and we were going to try and ride the Minions one, but the ride went down. So, yeah, it's been an interesting day.
So what happens next?
Next, like I said, we're breaking for lunch, and then we can either meet back up with our tour guide at 12:30, or we can kind of go on our own because this basically gives us the same access that he does. So it's just kind of up to us if we want to stay in a group of people or if we want to venture out on our own.
One last look at the restaurant as we head out. And there's the buffet over there. Lunch was pretty solid. I mean, it was a solid buffet. For a theme park, I think it was pretty above average.
Definitely eat as much as you wanted to. They gave us a whole hour in there. I mean, technically you could stay longer if you didn't want to go back with your tour group, but...
Yeah, so apparently right now after your lunch you can basically split off and do your own sort of lightning lane fast pass system if you want to, or you can stick with the group. We'll try to stick with the group, finish out our VIP tour day and see what's going on there. First time going down the escalators at Universal Studios Hollywood. Look at that. Oh. These aren't too bad. They're about this big in Atlanta. Look at the golf course in the distance. I wonder if the golf course in the distance is any good. Alright. Look at that. Getting ready to check out Jurassic World ride. Let's see how it looks. On the boat ride.
At the top of the food chain sat the Mosasaurus, apex predator of the deep.
You are clear for entry.
Made it out of a Jurassic World ride. Now we're heading over to, I believe, the Mummy. So what'd you think of Jurassic World?
It was fun. It is a pretty big drop at the end, but honestly, it was a lot of fun. We did get wet even with our ponchos. I am stoked. Absolutely stoked. But it was, honestly, it's worth a ride because like the graphics and like the animatronics are so cool.
Yeah, it was fun. The dark scene is kind of short,
yeah.
And then you're right on the fall, which is really fun.
Would you do that again?
Yeah, I'd do that again. That's a bad ride. It's a nice little flume ride.
And also, just, you know, be prepared to get wet if you're gonna ride it. Apparently during the summer, they do have the water effect turned on extra strong.
It was fun. See Blue up there. He's out.
Today, we invite the bravest among you to encounter the mightiest theropod of 75
San Diego. So, Mom, if you want to pass that phone right over that bike, we're going to snap a photo for you. So we got 1, 2, 3 of you.
That new Jurassic World movie comes out in a couple days, and actually got a little photo shoot. That's pretty neat. Heading to Transformers the Ride 3D. There's Megatron to our right.
Megatron is the only proper greeting I will accept. Dread position.
Going into the last land of the day, I believe, Super Nintendo World. Here we go. Check out the cool photos from N64, man. Those are awesome. Pretty cool. You got like a 1-up up there. Got the PAL blocks with everything. That's really cool. Oh, those guys aren't moving today. And then there's the castle. And Toadstool's Cache. It's pretty neat looking over here. Some more stuff up there. I mean, this looks really cool. It kind of stinks that a lot of the stuff doesn't seem to be moving today. Like the block up there. You got Yoshi's not really moving up there either. But still really cool. It does seem kind of cramped though. It definitely feels very, very busy right now. I'm gonna try one of these. Huh. That's what it does. So when people hit the light us. That's pretty neat. Look at the really cool, just everything. Look at, there's a game over here. For this guy. I believe you can get a key here. When I got like stuff to do. A little chompa. And there's the castle that you enter through with the portraits and stuff. It's pretty cool. Looks amazing. Looks really, really amazing. Look at Bowser's castle. I mean, that's really cool. And then the ice stuff over there. I mean, check out the... That's so cool. He jumps down the coin. That is really cool. Really, really freaking cool. So even if you don't have the app open, it'll still collect coins and stuff for you. I got 3 stamps and 166 coins just from like punching a couple boxes as I'm moving along. So pretty neat. And it's nice that you don't have to have the app open, so it's automatically doing it for you. Now I don't know how long the numbers and stuff stay in there, but pretty cool. It's pretty cool. There's a little like window display. Well, I guess picture frame display. If you ever played N64 Mario, that's what these are from. If I can actually like do anything. Princess and her golden mushroom. Little Koopa stole it. Heading out of the park. Just figured I'd stop and give one last look. There's Super Mario World. It's kind of interesting if we went that way. We need to be on the road that goes to our hotel eventually. But we have to climb all those stuff to get here.
It's crazy how many escalators there are. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4.
We can see the WB water tower past Nacy's shoulder over there if you see it. Yeah, there's WB Studios.
We're gonna do a studio tour there at some point. It was on our list of...
Yeah, I want to do that one in Paramount. There's a golf course. It's interesting there's a golf course between the 2 studios.
Yeah.
It's probably how they broke bread back in the day, y'all. Let's go play around the golf.
Did some golfing.
So what'd you think of Mario Kart?
It was very confusing. Even though they try to tell you like what to do, it is very confusing and there's a lot of things happening like all around you. So honestly, it's not like a thrill ride or anything. I wouldn't even say it's as fun as like driving a go-kart. It was mostly like a shooting game more than anything.
Yeah, so how'd you do point-wise?
It said I had like 10,100 points, so apparently you had to get at least 100 points to win, and I got 103.
Nice. See that guy hiking them hills? Oh, thank you. That was my job back in the day. The grunt work. Oh, there's another studio tour.
It was really cool doing the studio tour, though.
Yeah, it was nice. It's interesting that they choose to stop at different spots. We watched a few vlogs before this, and it seems like every guide stops different places.
Yep.
Yeah, one last look at her. This park is really kind of small, honestly. Surprisingly.
What did you think about Transformers?
It was a fun little ride. Yeah, it's basically Simpsons ride. Right outside the gates, the old Universal Studios Hollywood sign. That's pretty cool. It's literally like right after you walk outside. We've made it back to our hotel room. It's about 3 o'clock. Our tour basically ended. I've got to be honest, the tour guide seemed to be trying to get rid of us. And not just us specifically, the entire group that we had. At lunch, prior to lunch, he was like, "Oh, don't bother coming back."
Yeah, it was like he's like, there's nothing else further I can do for you at this point moving forward that you can't do for yourself.
Except for, of course, hold your bags. We were supposed to get like butter beers and stuff. We didn't get any of that. We'll get into that in a second. Honestly, overall, for me, it was extremely disappointing. I got to ride one ride, and then I got a show, the Kung Fu Panda show. I don't count that as a ride. It's just a show. That's all I really got to do all day. Between the Mario Kart ride, I couldn't fit. The flight of the hippogriff, it was like it had like this knee thing that was hitting my shins, so I couldn't get it any tighter, but I could get the lap a little bit tighter. But anyways, I couldn't ride. And the only ones I got to ride was Transformers 3D, and then I got to ride, I did ride Jurassic World, and I did get to do the Kung Fu Panda show. AC rode pretty much everything except for the Mummy.
Yeah, I'm not really one for thrill rides, so for me to skip out on the Mummy until he can fit on the ride is fine with me.
And then we didn't even stop, the guy didn't even stop in Springfield at all.
No.
But I don't blame him for that. It's an older section of the park, so you kind of get it. Especially in a bigger group, that's probably not where people want to stop. But we didn't even touch that at all. That's why we didn't ride that one. But we have at Orlando, so we're not missing anything
Minions
there.
Mayhem went down while we were waiting in line, so we skipped that one.
The entire Super Nintendo world went down while I was waiting in line for them, so I couldn't do anything. I was able to like punch a couple boxes you saw on video, but after that second box I punched, literally there was those mushrooms that I showed you, the Goombas, that weren't moving when we got there. They started moving and everything else stopped. So they must have reset something, and just those two pieces were moving and everything else had stopped.
He brought the whole mainframe down.
And so you couldn't do anything there. So we just headed out. It might be back up, but I don't know. It just doesn't seem worth it.
It was super slow in the Mario Kart line.
Yeah, the Mario Kart game went out, so I'm guessing they had to reset a bunch of stuff there. Now, the VIP tour. Thoughts on it?
The only area that I felt elevated, we'll just put it that way, was in line at Mario Kart, because we bypassed all of the people in the quick line and we went to our own little section that was roped off that our guide had to put us in. Nobody else could get in. However, I will say, that room empties out into a staircase, and once that room emptied out into a staircase, all of the people that were to our right like shoved in front of us, and we actually got separated. Me and the one guy got separated from the group for like a few minutes while we kind of made our way back through to be like, hey, we're with that group up there. And so that was a little annoying and frustrating. And then I ended up, because we were a group of 7 when we went to ride, they were like, we'll just do 4 in one cart and 3 in the other. Well, they put me in a row with this other guy, and I was like, fuck it, I'm not gonna wait. So I just rode it with some rando.
So I will say too, if you had left like he wanted you to before lunch, you wouldn't have been able to skip the line in Mario Kart. You would have been stuck. So he still was useful, even after lunch. I would say the biggest disappointments for me, once you get off the Backlot Tour, it just sort of lacks purpose unless you want to ride the rides, and you do get the lightning flash lane, whatever,
they're called,
whatever it's
Universal.
called, whatever money grab it's called there. And so you do get that as much as you want, which is great. The backlot was disappointing. We saw other vloggers do it. They got to stop at some other places. Other than seeing the Back to the Future courthouse and thinking of like that's where they did the hoverboards and stuff, that was awesome. Beyond that, though, nothing to really write home about. I did see a Chuck poster, we were driving past this one like old house in the western area, and the door was open to it, and inside there was an old Chuck poster that was all like faded and stuff. But the guy never talked anything about Chuck or anything like that. And you really didn't get very much from him other than the sort of captured spiel that they would sync up to like the video that was playing in the car.
Now, we did get to go in the props department briefly. Now, when I say briefly, it was roughly about a 5 to 7 minute walk through the prop department, and we really didn't stop and pause at all. They pretty much just kind of pushed us through and we walked around. We didn't really get a chance to just pause and take it all in.
Yeah, and we didn't really see you saw very generic props except for the throne from The Woodsman, which not a huge fan of that movie. We saw the mummies or whatever at the front were from the Mummy movie with Brendan Fraser. We saw an E.T. from the ride. He wasn't from the movie, so he was actually just a theme park piece. That's kind of all we saw. Then we just saw a ton of desk chairs and stuff, so there wasn't much to really talk to you about other than it's kind of cool that they have like old rundown desk chairs and stuff that are all like ratted out, and they rent those so that they can do like apocalyptic scenes and
The
stuff.
best way that I can describe what the prop department looks like is an antique thrift store.
Yeah.
It literally is just furniture after furniture with like random articles like just shoved in any which way. They say there's a reason for where everything goes, but I don't know if I believe that. But it was cool to see little tickets on some of the items as to where they were going or like what set they came from.
Yeah, that was neat. That was a little bit of peek. The rest we were just on the tour bus. And then when we got off, we rode a couple rides, and then we went to lunch. Again, we've seen in other vlogs that like when they went through Hogsmeade, they got to stop and get free butterbeer. We didn't stop at all and look at anything. Honestly, we didn't look at anything. And also something that's surprising, and this is not VIP related, just kind of extra. There was no one playing with wands there. So let us know on the West Coast, you guys don't really do much wand magic, huh?
Yeah, we were a little confused by that because
that's one of our favorite parts.
Is one of the big things.
Yeah. Of course, we don't have annual passes, so maybe once we did, it wouldn't be as popular, but still. I was kind of surprised that we didn't see a single person with a wand and a single person doing anything. Yet at the other coast, like that's all you see even walking around outside of the Harry Potter areas.
Doing their little wand magic.
Or just walking around in their garb.
Robes and stuff. I saw one person, but they were outside the park.
Yeah. But the park's cool. It's a lot smaller than you think it's going to be. It was literally, I would say, half the size of Disneyland, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It is 2 tiers, so that sort of spreads it out a little bit. It makes it look bigger. But really tiny and very studio-based. Not so much theme park-based.
Yeah, it's like there's studio first and then a theme park second is how I would put Universal Hollywood. Overall, did I have an okay day? Yeah, it was an okay day, but I feel like it really lacked what we were paying for. And there were definitely, like, one of the things we talked about was the fact that he walked so fast. Like, we had to, like, pretty much hustle to keep up with him. And we're not super slow walkers, but there were so many times that they would be, like, a good 10, 15 feet in front of us. And we're just trying to catch up. And it's like, okay, we've got all day with you. Like, why are we, like, rushing? And if you see people are walking a little bit slower than your pace, slow your pace down.
Well, also, too, like, people who are just in the theme park would, like, you know, cut in front of you, then you'd almost lose them, and then you have to, like, run to catch back up. That was definitely a really annoying part of it. The food, it was decent for theme park food, but it wasn't good. The breakfast, the croissants were all just, like, old, like, pre-made croissants. There's nothing really fancy to them. The lunch was, it looked like pork, but Nacy said it was a strip steak. I disagree. It looked more like it had like a white meat look to it. The lobster roll that you had tastes like Neptune salad. If you've ever had Neptune salad before, which doesn't have lobster in it, that's what it tasted like. It was just not good, not up to par. It's an interesting experience, and if you want to do it, especially if you can ride the rides and want to ride the rides, recommend. But you're really rolling the dice on the Backlot Tour because you can get a great guide, or you can get like us who just kind of wanted to rush through it. And then also the tour guide, once lunch happened, was just trying to get rid of us the entire freaking time.
And to go back to the Backlot Tour, we did not do the King Kong 3D. And we did not obviously do Fast and the Furious, but they took that part out a few months ago.
So apparently it's still there. They just claim it's closed forever. But they say all the stuff is still behind the door. So I don't really know why. The coaster's not going to be in place till next year. And it's really weird that we didn't do the other one. And there was a Jurassic Park one, too, that someone did. Where they drove through and did like a Jurassic Park scene, too, I thought. Maybe that was King Kong. I mean, I'm just mixing it up with King Kong. But yeah, we didn't get to see that. And the reason why we didn't get to see the King Kong thing, which she didn't say, is there was a regular tram in front of us, and it broke down in front of the door. So instead of... And he said they were getting a hat or something, so someone lost a hat. I don't know if it broke down or if someone lost a hat, but it was in front of the door. So instead of waiting, they just drove around and skipped it.
Yeah, so we
that
didn't get
doesn't
to see
seem
it.
that doesn't seem very VIP to me.
Yeah, so we skipped it. We skipped a lot of things.
So overall, I was absolutely disappointed. It's one of probably the worst days I've had at a theme park. It was boring. I just felt like I was being dragged around quickly to then sit outside rides while everyone else got to ride. Now again, that's my fault that I can't ride the rides, I guess. But at the same time, there was nothing else to do. What did you think?
Like I said before, I feel like there were aspects that I enjoyed of the day, but there also were a lot of things that I didn't enjoy. Once we got off the tram and finished with lunch, there were no other opportunities to get water.
None. And he didn't offer any either between the tram and lunch.
So there was definitely some missed opportunities. It was kind of like one of those things you had to plan for yourself, and I did.
Then why are you on a VIP tour at that point if you're planning for yourself?
So overall, like we said, if you are somebody who can ride all the rides and want to have the opportunity to do so and not have to stand in lines and have somebody kind of usher you around, do the tour.
Even then, though, I would probably just say get the fast pass thing. We could have rode all the rides in there in 3 hours, easy, every single ride. If that's what you want to do, which is a strategy we've used in the past too in other theme parks. It's really easy there with just that. I wouldn't even do the VIP. I just don't think we got anything out of the VIP, other than saying that we ate at a restaurant that's on VIP only. That's basically it. You see the other parts of the backlot. You just don't get to walk on them. So it's that's all you're really getting.
Yeah, so that being said, we're gonna kind of chill out for the rest of the day and maybe order some room service, but hope you guys enjoyed tagging along with us down to Universal Hollywood.
Nacia likes there's this cookie thing they have for room service. I guarantee that's probably what she's thinking about ordering.
The pizza's also really good.
So if you like this video, please hit that subscribe button too.
And make sure you give it a thumbs up.
And ring that notification bell so you get notified when we do at least 3 videos a week.
And we'll come and get y'all for the next one.
Ain't that the truth? Baby Ruth.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
We just wanted to take a moment to thank you guys for watching this video. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, would you please consider hitting that subscribe button, as it helps us reach a wider audience and helps our channel grow even further. To those of you who are already subscribed to the channel, we just wanted to say a huge thank you for always being there and supporting our channel. We cannot wait to take you guys on our next adventure, so we'll see you guys in the next one.